Welcome to Sports Right Now with Boots and Poops. Today we'll be talking all sports. Let's start off in the NBA. Let's do a game pick. Hornets, Warriors, what do you think?
I think you have to go with the Warriors. In maybe a close game, but you have to go with the Warriors.
Now, I think the Warriors, I agree. I think the Warriors will end up winning this one in the end, but I do think it's going to come down to it in the end. I just think Melo Ball is too good to let his team go down easily. Also, even if they go down in the first quarter, first half, they'll come surging back because we know how the Warriors love to give up those leads.
Especially to teams like the Hornets. Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
Now, I don't agree with that. I think actually, now the Hornets are actually a great team this year, I think. They added Plumlee, who's having rebounds, Miles Bridges averaging 23.1 points, LaMelo Ball, superstar in the making.
I agree. I think Melo is the key to that team, even though they sometimes play well when Melo has off game from scoring. But what I would like to say about Melo, I would like your opinion. 2 years ago in the draft, when the Warriors didn't they have the number 2 pick that year?
Correct.
And they went with Wiseman. What could turn out to be a total bust, and they could have gone with Melo, who looks like a future superstar. First of all, what's your opinion of whether or not they made a foolish choice? And secondly, had they gone Melo, how would Melo have integrated into the offense of the Warriors?
Well, I think Melo Ball is for sure the clear-cut choice right now. But we haven't seen Wiseman play that many games because of that meniscus. But
has Wiseman ever made you feel like he's going to be a star?
No, not really. I can't say that. But I think at any moment, he's so young and he's 7 feet tall. And he actually has a surprisingly nice-looking shot. I think he could turn out to be great, or he could turn out to be a total bust. But right now, it looks like Melo Ball is by far the better player and will turn out to be the better player. And I also think that the injuries will play a big role in that because Wiseman has already been out for a while with time.
He's got the big man problem. Those guys do get injured.
Yeah.
Now, with Melo, how would they have worked their offense with Melo, Steph, Clay when he comes back? How would that work? Because Melo likes the ball.
You have to say, you would have to start all 3 guards. Actually, no, I wouldn't say that.
And what about Poole?
That's true. You have all these players. Once Clay, I think the answer is simple right now. When Clay isn't back, I think you obviously play Steph and Melo in the same starting lineup. But the question is then, where do you put Poole? I think you take Poole off the bench, maybe get that second unit scoring a lot of points, take advantage of the other team's bench. But when Clay comes back, that's what gets tough. Because you kind of have to start Clay. But
maybe Clay starts small forward.
But you have to also think, this is what I would do. I would start Steph and Clay. Bring Melo and Poole off the bench. Then the other team bench is going to be terrible compared to their bench because they have Melo Ball and they have Jordan Poole coming off the bench. 2 players that could become future superstars, super duper stars. And I think right now, if they had Melo Ball, I think they would take Melo off the bench. I think should take Melo off the bench when Clay comes back and put Poole on the bench if Melo is on the team right now and there's no Clay.
I think we have to trust Steve Kerr would have better ideas on this than we do. But I think playing Melo at point would extend Steph's career. It would take some pressure off of him. He's great without the ball.
Yep, I agree.
And Melo is a great passer.
Now, I would say that, but you really can't say that would do that to Steph's career because Steph moves so much without the basketball. I think he would be actually running around more because every time, if you watch the film, every time you see Steph running around without the ball, every second when he doesn't have it. So I don't think you can really say that would shorten his career.
I think it's still less pressure.
Other
Still less pressure than handling the ball, bringing it up every time.
That's true.
And if you think about it, Steph is what? Is he 34 now?
33.
Well, he's turning 34, right?
Yeah, he's going to be
so
turning 34.
He's 34, and you'd have Melo coming up behind him. What is he, 22?
Yeah.
At the most,
21,
right?
I think.
Yeah, look at the future that team would have with that one decision if they'd only picked Melo.
Yeah.
It's one of our regrets as Warrior fans.
Let's go to the next game we are discussing. Grizzlies-Nuggets. What do you think?
Well, of course I think the Nuggets are the superior team.
Yeah.
I like the Nuggets. I've liked them for a few years now. You've got to feel that team is kind of an overachieving team.
Mm-hmm.
But they play team basketball. There's nothing not to like about the Nuggets. Now, I'm not saying any team with jaw is fun to watch.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Nuggets could go far in the playoffs. Much further than I would think the Grizzlies. Your opinion?
Now, you have to think Jamal Murray. He's going to be coming back for them. He'll be doing good things. But Nikola Jokic has just not been performing in the same way this year. Actually, I disagree with one of your points. I don't see in the games that I've seen, I don't see the same ball movement that there was before. I don't see Jokic distributing like he was before. He's averaging 5.7 assists this year. He was averaging somewhere around 9 last year. The assist numbers are very down, and that's why I don't think that team's moving the ball as much. Also, since he doesn't have that many assists, I think he also needs to score more. If your assists go down, your scoring should go up, but it's actually gone down. He was averaging 26.8 points last year. Now he's averaging 23.7 this year. Once you don't distribute the ball as much, you should be scoring more. But I think his overall stats have gone down this year. And I really think that's hurting the team in the ball movement way and just the overall team. I mean, I like the Nuggets too, but I don't see them going far in the playoffs. Whereas the Grizzlies, I think they have the ball movement. They need Dylan Brooks is going to come back. They have Ja is very good. He's hit a little bit of a drought, but for like 2 games. But he started out the season leading the league in scoring, and definitely the passing is incredible. The lobs, he has all of it in his game.
He is already a superstar.
And now he is integrating a deep 3-point shot into his game, which is just going to make him take off into a better superstar than he already is.
Plus, like yourself, he's got a lot of style.
I also think that I'm also going to say it. I think the Grizzlies are going to win this game. What do you think?
Well, off of recent play, it's kind of hard to tell, but I think while you're making valid points, it's on
Keep in mind, they both have a 4-3 record.
I know, but it's 7 games in the NBA is a very small sample. Mm-hmm. I really think you have to more judge the Nuggets by last year. Mm-hmm. They're still without their second-best player.
Yeah, Jamal Murray.
So I think, you can't really be too critical of them, because I think they're going to come back to what they were doing last year. And I really think they've got a real good future looking forward.
Yeah.
So in this game, it's a toss-up, really. If Ja goes off, you got to go with the Grizzlies. If he doesn't, I'd pick the Nuggets. It's really just a coin flip at this point. But for the year, I have more faith in the Nuggets.
Okay. How about another game? Let's talk about the Nets. What do you think about the Nets?
I hate the Nets. I hate the Nets with a passion.
What do you think of the Kyrie Irving situation?
I think Kyrie Irving is just a nutcase.
And what do you think of James Harden averaging 3.67 miles an hour
I feel
total averaging on the season? That's his average mile per hour on the floor right now.
I think he needs to buy a Peloton. and get in shape. What is wrong with that guy? He was the best scorer in the league for a number of years. Unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
He goes there, he becomes a facilitator. Fine. Now what is he?
Nothing.
He's not a scorer, he's not a facilitator. He's slow, he's chubby, and he's unlikable.
I agree. Now, how about, what do you think about the Lakers? Come on.
You know we hate the Lakers.
Russell Westbrook.
Well,
Russell Westbrook, LeBron James. How is that going to work?
A lot of people don't like Westbrook. I kind of like him because of how hard he plays. He always plays maximum effort. Hardly any NBA players do this, but he does.
But he's playing terrible right now with LeBron.
He's been moving around from team to team. When he goes to a new team, he always gets off to these slow starts because he has to have time to figure out how to work within the new team. I think you have to give him a little credit. He's figured it out several times before on teams, and
for example, the Wizards last year,
that was only a 1-year deal too, though.
Uh-huh.
But by the second half, he was totally better than he was in the first half.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that will happen here also. It's a little redundant, him needing the ball all the time, LeBron needing the ball all the time. But I think Westbrook is going to end up kind of like he's been in the past, where he gets the triple-doubles, he's a beast on the floor all the time, and he may save LeBron a little bit.
I do think it'll actually take some years off LeBron. But let's go to the baseball world. How about the MLB? Atlanta Braves closing it out in 6. I had that projection, by the way. All right.
Did anybody outside of Atlanta actually care or watch any of that World Series?
I agree. Who likes the Astros? I call them the Houston Astros. Or the Trastros. Either one.
That's better. They're a bunch of hoodlums and crooks.
I agree. Cheaters. Terrible. We all hate them. But how about the Atlanta Braves? Solar coming through, hitting 3 home runs in the World Series.
I have to admit, well, all those
the MVP.
All those homers were fantastic.
7-0 in 6
Has anyone ever heard of Solar before this?
I know. I agree. I didn't really hear his name much before this, but clearly this kid can flat out ball. And he looks like might turn into one of the baseball's future stars.
Well, we'll see.
And
they were barely over a 500 team.
They were. But what about Carlos Correa? I mean, he's a free agent. Where do you think he'll stay with the Astros?
I hope not. He's a good player.
He is a good player.
I would assume he'll go elsewhere, but who knows?
And do you think Altuve might get traded? Do you think there will be a complete rebuild in Houston? Yes or no?
It's hard to say. It depends on how much money they want to spend.
Yeah.
But these guys can all go to Dodgers, Yankees, teams that will spend huge bucks.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume they're not all going to stay with Houston.
Yeah, I agree. I think
they may get tired of being accused of being cheats all the time too.
I know.
It can't be fun for the players to be accused like that constantly.
I mean, Albie's had a pretty good World Series too. He hit a couple of home runs out of the park. But, I mean, I just think that it was an overall bad World Series. It was crap. I mean, all the games I felt like were pretty much blowouts. Game 5 was 9-5. I think that was pretty much the closest game. And actually, I think that was the best game to watch just because it was a team game for the Astros. There hardly were. I don't think there were any home runs. It was just a team game. They were getting base hits, RBIs. They all played together. And then also for the Braves, they had home runs. They had good pitching.
And the pitching in Game 6 was masterful.
That was great.
If you're a fan of pitching.
Threw a shutout. Yeah, if you like the defensive side of the ball, that you need to watch that on replay because the sliders and the curveballs and the fastball were really working for him.
Are we really recommending anybody rewatch that World Series? You got the NFL, you got the NBA. Now, do you really want to rewatch a baseball game?
Now, the question is, Do you think everyone will stay with the Astros as well? Do you think they'll split up?
That's what, some are going to leave, some are going to stay.
That's I.
I don't have any insight into the Astros.
Now the MLB, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they will actually want the Atlanta Braves to stay, because that was really not good for the MLB. I don't think that was just. Atlanta is not one of the most liked teams in the MLB. If you're not in Atlanta, you hate this team. I don't like them. He doesn't like them. What's going on? The MLB can't like the Atlanta Braves winning that World Series. How about we go to the NFL?
Let's do that.
Let's talk Henry Ruggs. What do you think?
Oh, what a disaster that.
I know.
Just tragedy that story is. Do you know what I read this morning about him? Do you know how fast he was driving at the time of the accident?
No, I don't. How fast?
156 miles an hour.
Are you kidding?
The police said it was the fastest speed they'd ever seen an accident at.
Wow.
156.
How did he survive?
On a street.
How did he survive that?
And he had a pass. He had his girlfriend with him too, who also survived.
Yeah.
But the tragedy of the 22-year-old NFL player driving,
and he killed one of his friends.
Yes, it's
a
horrendous.
It's horrific.
He'll be going to jail
for sure.
He'll be going to jail, and obviously his future is
done in the MLB,
and it should be after he did what he did.
It's crazy how the whole future can just change like that. It's truly crazy.
Yes, it is.
How about we go to more positive things?
Please.
How about the New England Patriots? What do you think? Mac Jones?
I know you have doubts about Mac Jones. I like Mac Jones.
I like Mac Jones.
And I believe for a rookie,
he's doing
very
well. The only reason I don't like him that much is because he doesn't put up the fantasy points I need for my fantasy team. But overall, I think he will turn out to be a superstar in the NFL and he fits into that Patriots offense so well with Bill Belichick. He's Tom Brady.
No question.
The short passes, the checkdowns, every time.
I think the Patriots may come on strong over the rest of the year, and they could be a playoff team.
And they just beat the Chargers.
Yes, which Chargers are good, although they're kind of inconsistent.
They dropped 2 games in a row.
I have a feeling the combination of the coaching the Patriots have got, and it's not just Belichick.
Yeah.
But the coaching, the fact that they have a quarterback with some skills, but that is extremely coachable.
Yeah.
And they've got other players. I think they could make a bid.
They very well could. I agree with that. How about the Chargers? What do you think? Do you think they'll bounce back this week against the Eagles?
I really thought the Chargers had turned the corner with Herbert. And they were no longer going to be that team that constantly breaks your heart if you're their fan.
Yeah.
Now it looks like they're the same old team.
Well, honestly, I don't know if you can say that.
First of all,
if you're a fan, there are no fans.
Would you agree that was disappointing?
I would agree. If you're a Charger fan, I think that was a terrible loss. I think Herbert actually needs to play better because, he threw the ball when the guy wasn't even looking. That's not a right play. You throw the ball. It was kind of desperate, but you got to find another receiver that can somewhat catch and isn't looking their back. And the other direction. Come on. But I do think the Chargers will get back on track this week, beat the Eagles, who may not have or will not have Miles Sanders this week. I
agree with you. I'm hoping anyway. Because they should be a solid playoff team.
Absolutely. They are.
I thought they were actually going to be a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah. Well, I think they still are. I think they still have what it takes.
Now the verdict is out.
Well, if you look at their start of the season, look at their games. They played Cleveland, Kansas City, Baltimore, they played all very hard teams.
But consistently they look good.
They look good. But now they're falling off a little. They had that bad loss against Baltimore. Another not very good loss against Patriots.
Yeah.
But if you look at the rest of their season, it's an extremely easy schedule. Eagles, Giants, Broncos.
But didn't you think that when you were looking at playing the Patriots, that should have been a relatively easy win?
Well, I mean, the Patriots are coming on.
Yes.
But they should have won that game, I think.
I think if they don't turn it around and have a really good game this week,
they're done.
Yes, you don't have 3 bad games in a row if you're a contender.
But what about Kansas City?
Kansas City, I think, is done.
Really?
I know the record still has them where they could come back.
4-4.
But with Mahomes playing the way he's playing,
he's not playing the way it looks. He doesn't. Those picks are not his fault. His receivers cannot catch the ball. And Tyreek Hill, what's up, man? Catch the dang ball.
I'm not saying Mahomes is bad. I'm saying he no longer
They
looks
gave the ball
like
away at the 5-yard line because Tyreek Hill can't catch.
He no longer looks like the best quarterback in the NFL. That's what I'm saying.
Who do you think is the best quarterback in the NFL?
Not Mahomes.
Who?
If I really had to say right now, I might go Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. He scored like 10 points
I might
against
go Josh
Miami.
Allen. You know who I'd like to say.
Against Miami.
You know who I'd like to say.
You might say Tommy B.
Of course.
Tom Brady, don't you?
Of course I
That's
do.
ridiculous.
And I know
Tom Brady stinks. He can't throw the ball. I can't say he throws the ball perfect in the fourth quarter, except against the New Orleans Saints. But you can't say a 44-year-old's the best quarterback in football right now.
I would say
it's got to be Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. I don't not agree with the Josh Allen statement. What about Kyler Murray?
He's very good, but he's also hurt. Until the last 2 plays of the Tampa Bay game, that's what matters,
though. The beginning of the game doesn't matter. If it's a 29-27 game, they need to go down and score the football.
I agree. Tom Brady has done that many, many times.
I agree.
But if you hadn't seen those last 2 plays,
you would think he played very well.
You would
but
say
that's not what matters.
He's the leading MVP candidate this year.
Who do you think do you think he's going to win the MVP?
No, because I don't think he can sustain what he's done so far.
So if he can't sustain it, how is he the best quarterback in football?
I said I'd like to say that. I didn't say he is.
Okay. Now, let's get on to a different topic.
Okay.
How about Aaron Rodgers? The whole
God.
COVID situation. Unbelievable.
Yes. I heard Aaron Rodgers on camera, when asked if he had been vaccinated, said, "I've been inoculated."
Right. I know. What is
then it turns out he hasn't been vaccinated.
He hasn't even been following the protocols for the non-vaccinated people, which is affecting his teammates. Maybe, well, as you could see last week, Devontae Adams had COVID-19. That could easily have something to do with Aaron Rodgers.
Could he become a worse teammate than he looks right now?
I know, and the long hair isn't working for me either. I mean, it's almost like a mullet. It's not looking good for him. Now I know.
Coming from somebody with some long hair.
I know, but look at it straight. It's just not working for me.
Okay. He certainly doesn't have the style of Boots.
Thank you very much. How about the Jordan Love? He has an opportunity.
Yes,
will he convert?
I'm interested to see. I have no confidence that he will because he's had no playing time.
Yeah.
And he really hasn't played football for 2 years. And when those guys practice when they're not first string, they don't get the good part of the practice.
You're right.
So, I think it's almost an impossible situation.
I heard he was working very hard in practice this week.
Yeah, that's like a couple of days.
I know. I think he actually will have a good week this week.
Hopefully they give him some plays that would be easier for somebody with his skills.
I think
maybe he should run the ball a bit too.
Yeah, show what he can do with his legs. I think that would show Matt LaFleur that he can honestly, I'm rooting for Jordan Love heavy in this game. I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers. I just do not like that guy.
Well, the Packers paid a big price to get Jordan Love.
I know.
Because they gave away their first round and a fourth round to get him. So they obviously believe in the guy.
I know. And Aaron Rodgers, I don't think Aaron Rodgers even wants to be there.
I would guess he's gone after the year anyway.
Yeah.
So this is
last
kind of a good audition chance for Jordan Love.
I agree. Maybe getting a little experience in the game. And if he plays great, you never know.
There's no guarantee that Aaron Rodgers comes off that COVID protocol after one game either.
Yeah, it might be 2 games.
It could be 2.
Because you saw Chandler Jones, Arizona defensive lineman. He was out 2 weeks with his COVID.
It could be.
It could be. You never know what can happen.
That would, because the Packers have such a good record right now, they could probably handle him being out for 2 games. It would probably help Jordan Love a lot if he got 2 games to play.
Just experience-wise, even if he plays bad, I mean, you're getting NFL experience, which he hasn't really experienced in his career yet.
And aside from Aaron Rodgers becoming such a jerk, we've always liked the Packers.
I know.
And you'd like to see this guy turn out to be a legitimate quarterback that can go forward if Aaron Rodgers leaves.
He's really actually handled this Aaron Rodgers situation very well. He hasn't asked for a trade or anything. He went to Utah State. He's been a very humble guy.
Well,
I just think...
Probably because he went to Utah State.
But let's switch gears. How about let's go talk about McCaffrey. Do you think he's coming back this week?
I'm sure some fantasy owners are hoping that he does, especially ones who just lost Derrick Henry.
Like me.
You might want to share your situation.
Well, actually, I'm in quite a bit of trouble. We got no Derrick Henry. Jamar Chase has been balling out, though, this year. Very nice for me. Drafted him, like 9th or 10th round. Great pick.
Great pickup. But you've also drafted McCaffrey 3 years in a row, and he hasn't played in 2 of them.
I know. But what do you think? Do you think he'll come back this week?
No, I do not. I think he'll come back, but not this week.
Okay. Do you think,
hopefully,
what about week 10?
next week.
Do you think he'll come back week 10?
I think he could, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But he just practiced for the first time today. I think they've got to let him practice a little bit.
Yeah, because he's coming off kind of cold.
And they don't want him to just get re-injured right away.
No, they don't.
So.
Because remember what happened last year? He had an ankle injury, but last year you got to consider it was a whole different injury. He hurt his ankle, then he hurt his shoulder.
It was bad.
Yeah,
hammies are tricky.
He's clearly shown that he's injury prone. The years before this, he wasn't getting injured at all. He didn't have an injury until last year with the ankle, and now it's just been continuous.
Yep.
I mean, for the Carolina Panthers, as you can see right now, Sam Darnold just sucks.
Yes.
Without McCaffrey, there's all this talk about Sam Darnold being so good, but you have to understand that Christian McCaffrey was the reason why he was good. They had the run threat. They had the check down. There was like 3 guys covering McCaffrey when he was going out for a pass, which had another guy wide open. That was giving Darnold the ability to hit players who are wide open. So that way, that was boosting his stats to make him look like a very good player.
Absolutely.
All right, I just want to say thank you for watching Sports Right Now. I am your host, Body. This is Poops. Thank you for coming on the show today,
It's been a
Poops.
pleasure.
And we'll see you, if not tomorrow, the next day. See you later. Goodbye from Sports Right Now.